Timmy! 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 Timmy Turner! You need to hear me out. Listen to me. I don't have time for your games, nor the time to explain. So you watching this video here and now may very well determine the fate of the world as we know it.
Approximately 66 million years ago, the Earth experienced an event of mass destruction that resulted in the complete extinction of the dinosaurs, all due to the chain of events that resulted from one lone asteroid. That mass extinction event caused approximately 3/4 of all the planet and animal species to be essentially wiped off the map. But what if I told you that we might just be facing a catastrophe of an equal, if not greater magnitude than that asteroid collision, and that it's already begun to take root within society for almost 2 decades? This catastrophe is none other than the Great Rewiring, which is strongly correlated to the phone-based childhood that a vast majority of the developing child population has been plagued by for years. Before showing off the data to support these catastrophic findings, we shall define these two concepts. According to chapters from Part 3, The Great Rewiring in the X's Generation by Jonathan Haidt, we are able to define the Great Rewiring as a time period beginning from as early as 2010 that was practically completed by 2015, in which the switch from flip phones to smartphones was made, therefore granting children easy access to the World Wide Web, which became an established societal norm, thus entirely rerouting the normative developing brain paths that children of prior generations experienced. TLDR, the catastrophe lies in the introduction of smartphones, granting internet access to the children, and it arguably serves as today's equivalent of the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs. Now, while the phone-based childhood concept sounds simple and self-explanatory, it essentially serves as the equivalent of the Earth's toxic atmosphere after the asteroid impact, which greatly exacerbated the mass extinction of the majority of planet animal life. The phone-based childhood, as Haidt describes, was the transition from the previous play-based childhood. After the transitional shift occurred around the 2010s, with the iPhone being introduced in 2007, as well as an increase in the amount of time kids spent at home due to overprotection from parents, thus giving an increase in screen time, which led seamlessly into the transformational shift that social media brought in around 2010, with the masses flocking to the social networking platforms to seek validation via their performances. With these two concepts in tandem, we are able to see the tangible and potentially generational ramifications of the mental deterioration done by the Great Rewiring, reflected in spades with the plethora of examples of a phone-based childhood. Now that we're all caught up to speed, we can get into the nitty-gritty of the peanut butter and jelly combination of doom from the Great Rewiring and the phone-based childhood. While Haidt references some nice statistics with some pretty graphs throughout his findings, I, Professor No Pressure, wanted to connect with the youth. That may very well be our only hope to combat the rampant mental rewiring of the new generations to come. To that end, I will be referencing relevant media and imagery that may strike some younger viewers as familiar to help in aiding the potential attention fragmentation, brain rot, as you sit through this presentation. First off, I would like to paint a picture to help us see just how many children have access to their own mobile device. According to this 2025 article titled "How Many Kids Have a Mobile Phone" by Gabriela Vatu, we can see that by ages 15 to 17, there is a near universal rate of 83 to 95% of smartphone ownership in the USA. While these numbers are somewhat understandable considering just how much convenience smartphones provide in operating daily life as young adults, it does beg the question as to when these children began to start owning these phones. Well, we do have an answer from this other 2025 article titled "Half of Young Children Own a Smartphone or Tablet" by Anna Murad, in which we see that up to 51% of children from ages 8 and below own a mobile device of some sort. Just imagine coming fresh out of the womb and the first core memory you have is Coco Melon playing on the tablet you got upon entering this world. And, depending on your parents, will only continue to feed your dopamine receptors the sloppiest the children's algorithm has to offer, thus involuntarily sucking you into the wormhole of future ramifications that comes with a phone-based childhood. Even the bears have phones. All this to say that the accessibility of this much knowledge and entertainment has never been more easily reachable amongst the youth, and it's only getting easier. I mean, just look at this. An adolescent anthropomorphic cat and fish are fighting over a phone that is by all meanings of the word outdated. The point is that regardless of the model, a kid having access to a mobile device is basically an inevitable byproduct of the Great Rewiring and the phone-based childhood, regardless of socioeconomic status, and the ramifications are unprecedented. Haidt lists several ramifications himself, but I believe two stand out to me the most when looking at today's younger generations, which would be none other than attention fragmentation, brain rot, and sleep deprivation, which complement each other very effectively. To see these ramifications put on paper, we can look towards the 2025 JAMA Pediatric Screen Time Tracking Study, researched by several government institutions, in which we see that amongst the ripe ages of 11 to 18, at least a third of the modern school day is lost to screen time, which correlates heavily with a cognitive decline. To imagine the majority of a child's primary education revolving around a constant maintenance of notifications and never-ending entertainment, I think we all can understand why the cognitive decline accompanies this much usage, as well as effectively fragmenting the attention of these children. As for the sleep deprivation confirmation, we can look at the findings from the 2025 Pediatrics Early Acquisition Study, also researched by several government institutions. Within these studies, it was commonly found that high screen usage was accompanied by sleep disruption, with overall circadian rhythm disturbances, amongst other potentially notable things such as sedentary behavior, obesity, cardiometabolic risk, anxiety, depression, loneliness, social comparison stress, and some other slight side effects. But hey, we all gotta keep up with the gram, right? With all this in mind, we of course must consider the limitations of these concepts that might fail to account for things such as environmental struggles, or even third world and foreign entities without any digital attachments. However, I believe that with these limitations, the ramifications of the concepts of the great wiring and the phone-based childhood are so influential that over time, I imagine regardless of whether or not you are in a place that historically has no digital existence, or even if that place is amidst 3 different natural disasters, you will have a smartphone or mobile device ready to be utilized at a moment's notice. When accounting for all of this, we must now address the implications these concepts may have on the future. A saying as old as time goes something like, kids are the future. But after seeing how horrifically society has set up the vast majority of these children for an expedited mental rewiring with a questionably healthy side of a very expedited phone-based childhood, I don't know how much money I'd put on these kids being our future. From all the mental and physical health drawbacks to the attention fragmentation and time management, down to the cognitive performance of these kids, I think we need to make change and make it fast. Now I will switch from screen sharing on my iPhone 4 to my camera to show you the Lego diorama I've worked on for the past 8 years that contains the roadmap necessary to save the future.
I told the professor he should have just used my iPhone 8. The 4 is too old even for me. Anyways, long story short, Timmy, think about the children. I know what you're capable of, Timmy. Your magical fairies have the power to change reality as we know it, and we can really use that to help future generations. So, Timmy, I need you to make a few wishes. We'll start with killing TikTok.